Indian tennis star Yuki Bhambri has reached a career-high world ranking of 83, in a season where he has beaten the likes of Gael, Monfils and Pouille. He spoke to Mirror about his game, his training routine, the financial challenges he has had to face, finding inspiration from his sisters and more. Your ranking has reached a high of 83. What's the kind of work you have done behind the scenes to come this far? I've been consistent in the last year and a half. The elbow, probably tennis, was unfortunate, but I never stopped trying, always aspired to get better. During that phase, I learned so much about myself. And that helped me reach where I am. Did you feel the need to train differently? Not train differently, but you tend to focus more on the injured part. For me, the key was the kind of time I was giving on tours in terms of getting stronger and ensuring my key muscles were working properly. It could be things like getting a massage, doing the right exercises important for that muscle, or even lifting the right kind of weights. Which part of your body takes the maximum toll on your game? It has to be my legs. In tennis you run a lot, much like you do in football. And it's so much a body game, calling for endurance and speed too. Cricket demands a fair amount of skill but not so much physicality. Let's talk of your impressive run in singles. You have taken down the likes of Gael, Monfils, Nicholas Mahue and Pouille. What kind of mindset did you have going into those matches? The Monfils match was the turning point for me this season. Beating him in Washington gave me the confidence to go into the next event. I could think anyone was beatable. In all the matches against Monfils, Mahue and Pouille, I was able to control the points from back of the court. I could play aggressive, which comes from complete belief in my game. That made the difference. In a certain context, you said the small corrections your trainer Stephen Kuhn made in your game made a big difference. Please elaborate. It's important to keep improving. For example, now I tend to hit the backhand harder. Also, I feel I could be at the net a lot more than what I usually do. You have seen how tennis has evolved over the years. There might not be too many serve and volley players around, but you could still attack the net as a surprise tactic. In fitness activities, it could be small things like trying to do more speed work or putting in more sprints. Look, everyone can serve and hit forehand winners. On the tennis court, it's those 1 or 2% extra qualities that give you the edge. You still don't have a full-time sponsor. How are you coping with the financial stress? That's highly unfortunate. People discuss how we could improve when the Olympics are around the corner. We're reminded we haven't won sufficient medals. No one really talks about what is put in by the government and sponsors. There's a reason cricket has done phenomenally well. Every kid wants to play cricket because this sport gets corporate backing. Financial support and good results go hand in hand. Unfortunately, tennis in India is one of the sports that never had a system in place. And it's not just now, it goes back several years. In Indian tennis, it's the families that back the players. And that's the reason you don't find multiple players coming through the system. Now you know why we have only one top 100 player coming every 10 to 15 years. Did you at any point in your career feel you had had enough and didn't want to go through the grind? If you don't have the right backing, how are you going to develop? That wasn't the case for me. Maybe it was for my sisters. I was the one coming up, so my sisters, players themselves, sacrificed a lot on their travel. I'm fortunate I've been able to deliver. At least I was fortunate to have my basic needs met. Occasionally, I'd have my parents and coach travel with me during my earlier years. After a while you need support staff to stay at a certain level as a player. The Federers and the Nadals have stayed at the top because they had the right resources with them. With us, it's like a Maruti car racing against a Ferrari. No matter what, you're not going to win a match at that level. It's important to have a coach who's going to help you with tactics and a physio to ensure you're doing the right exercises. There was a time your ranking dropped from 111 to 282. Sportsmen are not robots that they can take setbacks in their stride all the time. Who was your emotional anchor during this phase? My sisters, Ankita and Sana, have always pushed me to reach the level where I'm now. They're the biggest motivators for me. Having played the sport themselves, they understand how it works. I've had the luxury of talking and discussing the sport with them whenever I wanted to. Yes, there have been times I've thought of trying something else or doing something different. If not tennis, what else could you have done? I don't know, I've always been into sports. I was good at cricket but ended up playing tennis following in the footsteps of my sisters. Perhaps I'd have done something in the field of sports. Coach Mahesh Bhupathi expects you to be at the forefront where India's singles players are concerned. I've grown up watching his Davis Cup matches, especially on Delhi grass courts. He has been a huge inspiration to a lot of Indian athletes. He and Pouille, Leander, have put India on the world map. It's essential to have the past players around for your own development. They impart knowledge to the next generation. We've had a great time with Bhupathi, especially with regard to getting inputs. Even recently in the Davis Cup tie against China, the way we fought back, it was tremendous. I was gutted since I missed out owing to injury, but I had no doubt we'd pull through. You've qualified for the main draw of the French Open. I'll be going there a lot earlier to practice and get a feel of clay courts. I'm excited that I've finally got a chance to play in the main draw of Roland Garros. I had the opportunity to play in Australia, but the French Open and hopefully Wimbledon will be a dream come true. And it's not only about playing. I've the belief that I can get through a few rounds.